Okay, this is going to be a collection of audio journals from day 17 to day 20, primarily because I've just fallen behind and haven't been able to make the time or effort to do these audio journals day by day. But this is sort of like what I usually do for my normal journals anyways. I like catching up so that I can look back. There's something about looking back that feels really like fun, instead of just doing it on the day of every single time and calling it like, oh, I'm done with my journal. Okay, let's start with day 17. And this was a Sunday where we didn't actually do too much. We just edited a lot during that day, doing some kanji stuff as well as like Japanese practice. And then towards the middle of the day, some friends wanted to hang out, so we got some sushi, onigiri, and ice cream. I really need to do better with remembering the names of things. Sometimes it's hard to just like see the Japanese kanji characters written, but there's usually some hiragana, so I'll pay more attention next time. But the onigiri place was close to Kawaramachi, which is like a very popular street where a lot of things are in Kyoto. After that, I actually started looking up, or after the onigiri, we ate it at the river and went to Kura afterwards. So Kura is a sushi, like revolving sushi bar, or one of those conveyor belt sushi places. And there are a lot of them in Japan as well as in California. So this brand is definitely familiar to me. And I was curious to try it in Japan. And honestly, I think that it's okay. Like, I think the quality of the Kura in California is similar to the quality in Japan, surprisingly. I would have expected Japan to be better. That's not to say it's not like good. Like, it still tastes good and it's like not bad, but I can tell that it's not like comparable to the actual other places that serve sushi. In my opinion, Sushiro, that is sushi and then RO, is a much better conveyor belt sushi place. Like, that place actually tastes 100% like good quality and is also somewhat as cheap as Kura. Kura's like the cheapest, but Sushiro is like pretty darn cheap as well. But after that, we went to go look for some dessert, and I looked up a whole bunch of like kuremiya places. So it's like spelled Cremia, cremia, however you want to say it, but it's kuremiya in Japanese, I guess, if you use katakana. Kuremiya. And there's actually some places in Kyoto, surprisingly. I for some reason I thought it would just mainly be in Tokyo. So when I found out that there are some places in Kyoto, I got really excited and we went to go look for it. We found a place, but they ran out of it. So I was very sad, but we ended up going to a different ice cream place that was really good. So I wouldn't say as good as Kuremiya, but pretty solid. That was day 17. And then day 18 was a really fun day. I got to eat at a new place, which was like a matcha place, but they also serve soba. So it's like matcha with soba. And it's kind of like in a hidden place in Kyoto Station. It's near the piano, like the indoor piano. And you just go one floor up, the escalator is next to the piano, and then you'll find it. And my friend told me, like, she's from Japan, so she told me that there's like not a lot of people actually know about the place and that it's kind of a little difficult to find. So definitely a hidden gem. I will probably make a short about it. But one of my favorite meals actually so far in this whole trip, in this whole 3 weeks that I've been here in Japan, I will like definitely try way more places. But so far, this place, I've already tried a lot of places, but this place is just like really good. So definitely try the soba there if you're around Kyoto Station. It's like a place you'll most likely encounter, or Kyoto Station is a place you'll most likely encounter, but the restaurant itself is a little hidden, so you'll need to find it, but definitely worth it. And not that expensive either. So, but after that, I went to school, studied some Japanese, and after school, I went to hang out with my friend again. This time, what we did was play some card games, and she introduced me to Japanese version of Speed, which I thought was really fun. And again, I will probably make a short video about that. And I taught her some games as well, and she taught me a different game that I can't remember exactly what it was called. Maybe it was called San Roku Q. It's just like 3 numbers basically, and we flip cards over, and if it's the right card, we have to slap it. Reminds me of pretty much every other slapping game, like Egyptian War or Jungle Speed, just a lot of slapping games. It was fun to play. that was day 18. And day 19 was a bit more chill as well. I went to go record some vlogs in front of the temple, went to class, and studied more like a normal form is what they call it, but it's basically just casual speech, which I'm really glad about because that's the type of speech I really want to do, because most people talk, I guess most younger people talk like that. Like I don't hear normal people talk too much with like mas form. So it was good that we're practicing that. I'm like happy about the classes overall. And then we had a study session at my friend's share house, the one that I really liked and talked about last week. So I got to talk to some Japanese people more and meet them. I was very glad about that. I got to try a cup ramen that was pretty solid. And I also introduced Liar's Dice to some of my friends that were from Europe, and they enjoyed the game. I definitely had way more experience than them because I played that game for years. I don't know, it was their first time playing the game, but this game is like popularized by Pirates of the Caribbean #2, and we play a variation where like you only lose one dice if like you're wrong and called a liar. But we played with the rule dead on as well, so I ended up calling dead on and winning the game afterwards, because the more dice you have, the far easier it is to win. And for that game in particular, if you have experience, like you can feel the board out way more. But that was a really fun day, a bit more normal day since nothing like no real exploration or anything like that, but still fun. And then day 20 was also a pretty chill day. Pretty much all I did was eat some gyukatsu, which I really enjoy. I know a lot of like Japanese people are like, I only know 2 so far that are my friends, don't really care to go to eat gyukatsu, but for some reason I really like it. So one of my favorite meals is gyukatsu for sure, so highly recommend. This was also one of the first days that it started snowing in Kyoto, which was cool. So I went to the Kyoto Station piano afterwards, after class, and just played the piano and came up with like a melody for just the feel of winter in Kyoto. So I'll develop that further. But at the end of the day, what I did was eat some natto for the first time. My friend on Monday asked me if I wanted to try it, so she gave me one. And she told me to eat it with miso soup, so that's what I did. And it wasn't that bad actually. Like there seems to be this thing where there's an implied taste of natto that is like very bad or hard to eat. But for me, I actually thought it was just okay. Like it didn't taste like too much. The smell for sure is something that I don't really enjoy, but after getting used to it and eating it with the miso soup, like it's something that I feel like I could eat more of, but I don't want to necessarily, but I don't mind eating it if it's like in front of me. Maybe I'm just weird. But that is pretty much everything, or the highlights from day 17 to day 20. This is just a catch-up audio journal, and that's about it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.